Everyone around you can see it, your friends see it, your family sees it, strangers who hear the story see it. But you can't. Or maybe you can, and you stay anyway. Psychology doesn't judge that. Psychology explains it, and the explanation is far more complex than people realize. Welcome back to Psyche Noir, where we explore psychology from its foundations to its darkest corners. Today, the psychology behind one of the most misunderstood human experiences. Why people stay in relationships that hurt them. Most people ask the wrong question. They ask, why don't they just leave? As if leaving were simple. As if love and logic operate in the same part of the brain. They don't. The real question psychology asks is, what keeps someone psychologically attached to a source of pain? And the answer involves some of the most powerful forces the human mind is capable of producing. This isn't weakness, this is neuroscience, this is attachment theory. This is the way human brains were built, long before healthy relationships were even a concept. The most powerful psychological force keeping people in toxic relationships has nothing to do with love. It's called intermittent reinforcement. Here's how it works. In psychology research, when a reward comes consistently, the brain learns to expect it and eventually stops responding strongly to it. But when reward comes unpredictably, sometimes yes, sometimes no, with no pattern you can identify, the brain becomes obsessed. It's the same mechanism behind gambling addiction. The slot machine doesn't pay out every time. That's exactly why you keep pulling. In a toxic relationship, the warmth, the affection, the person you fell in love with, appears unpredictably. Sometimes after cruelty, sometimes after silence, sometimes for no reason at all. Your brain doesn't detach. It fixates, it chases the warmth the same way the gambler chases the win. And just like the gambler, the chase feels more intense than any consistent love ever could. The second force is trauma bonding. Trauma bonding occurs when cycles of abuse are interspersed with moments of genuine warmth, remorse, and reconnection. During the warmth phase, the brain releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone, the same chemical released between mothers and newborns, between people falling in love. During the abuse phase, stress hormones flood the body, cortisol, adrenaline, and then relief. When the storm passes, when the apology comes, when things feel normal again, that relief feels profound. Research shows the neurological bond formed through this cycle can be stronger than bonds formed in healthy relationships. Not because the relationship is better, because the brain is responding to the intensity of the contrast. The higher the pain, the more powerful the relief. And relief becomes love when you've been through enough cycles together. The third force goes back further than the relationship itself. John Bowlby's attachment theory established that the bonds we form in early childhood with our primary caregivers become the template for every significant relationship we have as adults. If your earliest attachment experiences were inconsistent, warmth followed by withdrawal, love followed by rejection, your nervous system learned that this is what love feels like, that anxiety and affection belong together. That you have to earn the warmth that should simply be given. This doesn't mean everyone in a toxic relationship had a difficult childhood. But it does mean that what feels familiar often feels like love, even when it isn't. There's another reason leaving is hard that doesn't get spoken about enough. By the time most people recognize they're in a toxic relationship, they are no longer who they were when they entered it. Toxic relationships systematically erode self-worth through criticism, through comparison, through isolation from people who might reflect a different version of you back to you, through being told explicitly or implicitly that nobody else would want you. When your self-worth has been dismantled piece by piece, leaving feels not just difficult but genuinely impossible. Where would you go? Who would you be? Who would want you? These aren't irrational thoughts, they're the logical conclusions of a mind that has been deliberately shaped to reach them. And then there is hope. Perhaps the most human reason of all. The person at the beginning, the one who made you feel everything, you've seen them, you know they exist, and some part of you believes, deeply, stubbornly, desperately, that they're still in there somewhere. That the right words, the right behavior, the right version of you will bring them back. Psychology calls this the sunk cost fallacy applied to human relationships. The more you've invested time, emotion, identity, the harder it becomes to accept that the investment won't pay off. Leaving doesn't just mean leaving the person, It means accepting that the person you loved may never have fully existed. So what does psychology say about actually leaving? That it's a process, not a decision. Research by psychologist Lenore Walker found that people leave toxic relationships an average of 7 times before leaving permanently. That's not weakness. That's the reality of dismantling neurological bonds, rebuilding eroded self-worth, and separating love from familiarity. The most important things psychology tells us: safety first, always. Understanding why you stayed is not the same as accepting that you should. And the version of yourself that existed before is not gone, it's waiting. If this video resonated with you, that recognition matters. Knowledge is always the beginning. Next time on Psyche Noir, the psychology of manipulation, how influence works without detection, and how awareness becomes armor. Subscribe to Psyche Noir, new video every week. Stay curious, stay dark.